We've covered a lot already, so it's time to talk about something that we've only really touched on before: metadata. Welcome to episode 6 of our short series explaining SymplyPERIFERY, our S3 native scalable storage solution. You'll notice that I'm back in my checked shirt. Let's get meta, whatever that means. We've mentioned metadata several times in the course of this series. The fact that it's encapsulated with objects and that it can be used to drive periphery behavior, such as the object lifecycle. But what is it? Okay, metadata is data that describes an object. A video, an audio file, an image, an X-ray, a legal document, or any kind of object stored on SymplyPERIFERY. Let's use my Apple example from episode 2. Although I ate that, so here's a new one. Previously, we talked about how when data is written to disks in SymplyPERIFERY, it's always stored as two parts: object data and metadata. These are written strictly once and always remain physically encapsulated together. Unlike other object storage solutions that keep the data and metadata separately, typically in a database, SymplyPERIFERY is uniquely metadata aware, as the metadata itself is stored directly alongside the object it's describing. Storage that uses file systems struggle to do this. Historically, with file systems, there was no good way to easily get additional metadata associated with a file. You need a database to do that. My apple was grown in my friend Tamsin's garden. It was picked by my friend Hazel. It's small, tasty, organic, green and red, and it's being held by me. That's metadata that describes this apple. In SymplyPERIFERY, that data sticks to the apple. In other systems, that data is stored far, far away, so it takes longer to get, search, and retrieve the relevant object. This is what makes SymplyPERIFERY incredibly powerful and is game-changing for data at scale. Sounds interesting, but what does that mean? In practical terms, it means speed. If you've been watching our channel, you'll know that SymplyPERIFERY is fast, and that one of the reasons for that is that we don't use databases. No database has to be stored on expensive flash media, and no databases to consume valuable CPU resources, and no need for the system to update both the object and a database containing the metadata about the object. That's a lot of faff. With SymplyPERIFERY, there's also no practical limit on the amount of metadata that can be associated with any given object. Essentially, the list could be endless. With many S3 systems, there's a surprisingly small number of tags that can be added, which is a shame, really, because, well, the more metadata you add, the easier it is for you to find the content you want at a later date, whether that's in a day, a year, or even the next decade. In addition, this metadata can be used by applications and updated in real time. Now, this is incredibly good. For example, applications could search this metadata for documents, images, videos containing that metadata, and those applications could also update the metadata back on the SymplyPERIFERY storage itself. Think of it as a real-time two-way door. An application creates new metadata fields, populates them, and stores that back in SymplyPERIFERY, so that a second application will also have immediate visibility of the new and updated metadata stored with the object. In fact, any and all applications that connect to SymplyPERIFERY can access that metadata. Back to my apple. If I start working with it and I decide that I want to describe its surface as smooth, I can create a new metadata field to add that detail. As soon as I do, anyone else with access to the storage can see it and search for it. Your content, whatever it may be, is nothing without metadata. It's the key to finding what you've stored. Once metadata is written or updated with an object in SymplyPERIFERY, it's encapsulated with it And this stays with that object forever, no matter where it's moved to, from editor to editor, application to application, between clusters to the cloud, or even into file systems. That's it for today. Next time, we'll talk about what makes SymplyPERIFERY more environmentally friendly than other systems, along with how your periphery cluster can scale almost infinitely. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for updates. I'll see you in the next video.